Podcast featuring Greg and Jack starts right now.
Oh, welcome in everyone to your Week 7 NFL pick show at the Every Point Sports Podcast. I am Jack Stash from Fantasy Farm Sports. We have Greg, the Old Gamer Entertainment, with us today. How we doing, Greg?
We're always doing good, Jack. We're always doing good. Always extra good when we're doing this. Love going through the picks. Going through, telling everybody what we think, making people money.
All right, guys. And the fact of the matter is that you could question us. You go, well, you guys are just making picks and maybe you're doing well, maybe you're not doing well. But listen, fruits of our labor is what Greg will be displaying in the first couple minutes of our video to prove that our picks do come through. Greg, take it away.
All right, guys. Last week, I just want to pull up kind of what Jack and I was going through last week. Now we didn't hit on the Niners game. And there was one other 4:00 game I didn't hit on. It won't let me go back that far for my total ones, but I just want to show you guys what, starting with the Bears game, which when we first went on last week, the Bears game was on. We said we liked it. I put a small bet on them. So I just want to go through, show everybody that we do put our money where our mouth is. And if you do listen to us, you will make some money. Especially when it comes to these teases. You guys will see when I go to these teases how valuable, if you know what you're talking about, if you know what you're looking at, you can make some money off of them. And if you listen to Jack and I, you have both bases covered.
Yeah.
So we take the guesswork out, guys. We really do.
Teases are great too, not if you think it's going to be a 7-point game, but if you think it's going to be a 3-point field goal at the end game, right? And
Yep.
You need to swing some points in your favor. You just need a 4 or a 5. I'm going to tell you right now, I never, ever do teases where I need like 3 or 4 points on the tease. Because if I think I need 3 or 4, I'm wrong. I'm absolutely wrong on the bet. I walk away from it. I reevaluate. Right? Sometimes you just got to sit there and get a blank piece of paper and write why you think this team is going to be X amount of points better. Just a couple weeks ago, I said San Francisco could cover that 10-point spread against New England. Now, that could be a game where you sit there and you go, well, what if I get tease points? That's wrong. That was way wrong, right? Because New England was not going to compete in that game, which they did not.
Absolutely.
That's a great point, right? Oh, I have 25 points. That's great. It's 26-0 in the first quarter. How you feeling?
Yep. Where I like to do teases, where I actually love to do teases, is where I like the team to win. I like the money line, but the odds aren't there. They're like plus 300, plus 250. So, so it takes a lot of money to make money. So just do a tease. Take that and take another game, or take that and the over or under, whichever one that you like, and feel comfortable with your pick. That's what I do. That's how I make my teases.
I think we were 82.6% last week. It was a strong week.
Listen, it was one of my best weeks this year. I killed it just last week. Very happy.
This week makes me nervous though. I think there's potholes.
Yeah, it does me too. I'm staying away from a lot. I'm just I'm going to pick a couple key games, and that's what I'm going to stand on this week. You guys will see my picks. I love the bet. I have a lot of them. You guys will see here.
There's a lot of stuff out there that looks easy this week. This is where you want to be a bettor. Okay, you want to pick your spots because we're in week 7. Right. And before we get to these picks, I just want to reiterate, we're in week 7. This is where Vegas takes over. If you think you're wrong. They know 110% what these teams look like. There's no more guessing. Money's off the table. They've probably, at this point, to good bettors like Greg and I, they've probably lost money. So we're really confident. We last week. We should bet every game. No, we shouldn't, because we do not know more than they know. They always know a little bit more. But if we can make the correct picks, you are betting and not gambling. There's a huge difference. There's a huge separation. Betting is making an educated guess on a game for which you're going to place money on. Gambling, no educated guess. You're walking in there blind. You're no better than what Stevie Wonder would be watching a horse race. That's what it is, right? Oh, well, I think I know. You start thinking you know, and you'll be broke and refinancing that mortgage. Now, let's get to some picks.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Let me bring up this. I just wanted to bring up those
trophies. Look at all the wins.
A lot of them, guys. A lot of them. We had some good weeks. Even yesterday. I'm thinking about on Fridays doing a little college. I did pretty good yesterday. I just love football, guys. I love betting on football. I'm a degenerate.
Give us your rundown. Give us your rundown from last week. Football games you hit on. Just real quick before we get started this week.
Oh, I wish I had. I don't have the week up for what we did, but started off with the Bears, won with the Packers.
Cleveland and Philly, we hit both of them. So Greg, this is really interesting. You can hit both sides of the ball, right? He liked Philly on the money line. I liked Cleveland getting the 8.5. It was real suspicious. So if you took the 8.5, that would be one game where you did get the points. By the way, fantastic tease contender there.
Oh, remember last week, Jack liked the AJ Brown with the over on the receiving yards. I liked him for the touchdown. Hit on that. All right, here we go, guys. From let's see here. One with the Bears, one on a 4-pick parlay with the Eagles, Texans, Baltimore, Bucks, all money lines. One with the Dodgers, one with the took a 3-team tease, took the Eagles down to 2, Houston down to 0.5, Green Bay getting a 0.5 point. Hit on that. Hit on Green Bay straight up with the points. Hit on Texans money line, hit on Packers money line, a tease with Eagles Packers, one with that, another tease, Baltimore Chargers, hit on that, 5-pick parlay, hit on that, Falcons, Cincy, Texans, Philly, Packers, we won with AJ Brown touchdown, one with Houston straight up with the points, one with Tampa Bay money line, one on a 2-team parlay, Atlanta, Detroit, one with another parlay, Atlanta, Cincy, one with Cincy money line, one with Cincy with points, took a parlay or a tease, Jets and the over, hit that. That was last week's winnings, guys. That was all Sunday.
You almost ran out of breath. Yeah, you know what?
I really did. I was trying to get through it as quick as I possibly could.
Be careful, ladies, because we're hitting on everything here. Hitting on everything, baby.
Yeah. So we hit on a lot last week. Now we did. I did lose with the Niners last week at 4:00, and there was another game at 4:00 I lost. I know during the podcast, I said I like the Steelers over the Raiders. I ended up taking the Raiders because I was getting +9. Lost with that. So those were the 2 losses that I did take. But I mean, you guys seeing that far outweigh the winnings far outweighed those 2.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, let's get
all right. Now let's get back to this week.
Time to turn the page.
Right now, we have the Patriots and the Jags going. I did take the Jags before it started. Jack, why don't you tell them what you did with the Jags? Because I really like what you did.
All right, so here's what I did. Okay, the Jaguars start slow. Even when they win, they start slow. There has not been a game this season where the Jaguars haven't started 7-0 down. They just do. They don't like to start the football game when the football game starts. Unfortunately for Jags fans, they wait a little bit of time. The Patriots were up 7-0. The Patriots were up 10-0. Patriots stopped moving the ball as effectively on that next drive. And that was when I didn't want to pay $3.25 on the money line for Jacksonville. I still believed and held conviction that they were going to win this game and get it together. They've been in London for a while. Okay. So what I did is I waited. I waited, and like a jaguar, I pounced on the plus 115 money line when they were down 10-0. I got a deal. Trevor Lawrence led a scoring drive. Now I'm only down by 3, and that's when Jaguars started to take over the game. So I got a deal with my conviction held in place. Now, had the game had gone to 17-0, I wouldn't feel as good, but
Mhm.
I did get a bargain in the middle of a productive drive, and you can take advantages of like that in every single game if you would. Now, you need to be careful. You need to be educated ahead of time, but make sure that it's a good bet like mine, and it could pay off and pay absolute dividends for you guys.
Yeah, that's a great thing. Pay for you guys that are serious about wanting to bet and you guys like a couple games, the point spread is a little too high by a point or two. And wait till the game starts off. Maybe the other team gets the ball first. They start driving down the field. That spread will start going down a little bit. That money line will start going down a little bit the closer they get to the end zone. So pay attention to the live betting, guys. I know a few weeks ago we talked about shopping your bets around, finding the best point spread for you
Yep.
at several different sites. This goes right along with that advice,
Does.
guys. Live betting is great. Now it can cripple you. You can have all the faith in the world, like Jack said. Going up 10-0. He liked the Jags. Notorious for starting off slow. That could have worked against them. That it could have end up being a blowout by the Patriots. So, but if you are convicted in your picks, you really like what you're doing, you are educated in what you're doing, take it, do it.
Yeah. I mean, before the game started, you had to lay $325 to make $100 on the money line.
Yeah.
The New England Patriots started quickly, and all of a sudden that moved to plus 115 in the Jags direction. So I have to lay, God, it's almost 225, 275 less dollars to make
Yeah.
$100. I mean, that's
Mhm.
that. And by the way, Jacksonville's driving, they're up 22-10 now. That was the last 10 points that New England will see all game. So we're in the driver's seat, baby. We feel good. All right, Jacksonville over New England. That's how we feel about that game. Let's move on to some other games.
All right. Our next game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Giants. Eagles are giving 3 points. It over unders 42.5. Money line, Eagles are at negative 162. Giants are at plus 136. What's your thoughts on this, Jack? Giants are playing a way better ball than they were in the beginning of the season. They have neighbors back, correct? This game,
Yes. Yes.
which is huge, huge, huge for Jones. So I mean, that team has been very competitive the last 2 to 3 weeks.
So when there'll be some games that aren't on in your market, and you go, man, I don't want to watch this game, but you want to watch football, or you want to watch baseball, or you want to watch hockey, right? You want to watch a sport, right? So you put it on anyway, and there are two teams that you're not interested in. It's important to watch the game and how the teams are playing. Okay, I've had a couple Giants games I've gotten this year. I didn't really want to watch the Giants, but they happen to be on, and I wanted to watch a football game, whether it be Thursday night against the Cowboys, and everybody's, oh, the
Mhm.
Cowboys are going to blow them out, or whether it be a late night game. I've gotten a couple Giants games, right? Last week against Cincinnati. Cincinnati won. We thought they would. But New
Yeah,
York,
but they made it a game. They made me
right,
sweat that out.
but and New York does that. New York did that against Dallas. Oh, Dallas just going to move the ball. They did not. And by the way, Brian Dable comes in with a fantastic game plan.
Mhm.
Daniel Jones, I nobody likes him. He's a top 15 quarterback right now, trending up. He's not perfect. He's not sexy. He's Daniel Jones. But Daniel Jones is doing just enough. He's averaging 250 yards a game and 2 touchdowns.
Mhm.
Just enough with a good defense. And they love Dable. They play for Dable. In the opposite direction, Nick Sirianni's fighting with fans. He's bringing his kids to press conferences so that the reporters don't ask the tough questions. These are the things that are happening in Philadelphia. It's
Mhm.
inconsistency, it's anger, it's frustration. There's a lot of things that are going on in Philadelphia that sound a lot like last year.
Yeah.
And the wheels are coming off quicker. They do not have the buffer of wins. My money is with the Giants here on the money line. I think the Giants win at home. I think they're just as talented in Philly, and they know what they're the New York football Giants, and the Eagles feel like a wounded bird.
Mm-hmm. I could definitely see that happening. I like the Eagles this game. For the fact that I think Barkley's going to go off on this game. I think he's going to have a field day. I think he's going to really, really give it to the Giants. Say, really, you guys couldn't re-sign me. Watch this. I don't think it's going to have to be in Hurts' hands. AJ Brown looked really, really good last week. I mean, really good, which freed up Devontae Adams to have a couple nice catches.
Devonta Smith is good.
What's that?
Devonta Smith is playing really well.
Yeah. I think you pair that up with a pretty much, let's just say, a pissed off Barkley.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles are going to take this one. I would even take the points here. I think the Eagles win by a touchdown here. I think the Giants are going to play competitive. It is a division game. You have to remember that. But I like the Eagles this game. I think they're going to really shove the running game down the Giants' throat, and I think Sirianni's going to game plan for that. I think Barkley. This is what I picture. I think Barkley, as soon as he's seen this circled on or this come out on the schedule, he circled it and went into Sirianni's office. Say, listen, I want the ball every time this game, and I think he's going to get it. I wouldn't be surprised to see him have 20 to 25 touches this game.
I like Saquon Barkley as far as fantasy goes this game. I just, the identity of the Eagles is very fragile.
They don't have one right now.
Whereas Dable,
when they were good, their identity was they were tough.
I watch, this Giants defense reminds me a lot of what Todd Bowles can do to you. And the Eagles cannot solve Todd Bowles. I mean, you could say whatever you want to say about Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. They make Jalen Hurts look high school good.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, at home, New York Giants, they have an identity. Yeah, you can take Philly. I understand all those things. Barkley could have a great game like AJ Brown did last week. And at the end, they just don't have enough.
Listen, I get it. I mean, we're not going to agree on every game.
No, the Eagles talent-wise, this should be a 5.5 point game. I do not know why it is.
Oh, it should. But like you said, it's a fractured team right now. It's a team that's trying to find itself. It's a long season. Could they do it? We'll see. I don't see it because I don't think they have the leadership to find it. But I think they have enough talent on that team that they can overcome certain games. And I think this is one of them.
I think by the third quarter, if they're losing, you could find the Philadelphia Eagles coach in the stands going fist to fist with the
yeah, I know.
No, I'm just saying. What did you say? The announcers will have to be like, Sirianni is now in the fans going fisticuffs with the Giants faithful.
What was he thinking?
He doesn't think. He has no brain.
What I mean? Oh.
He has no
when I seen that, I'm like, what is he doing?
He doesn't know what he's doing. You know what? He's a lot like a comment that Bill Belichick said about Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, a couple weeks ago. And Bill Belichick said, he goes, Woody Johnson's always been a little bit of ready, fire, aim. That's Sirianni.
Mm-hmm.
He's ready, fire, aim.
Yeah. All right. You like the Giants. I like the Eagles. Both of us taking the points. If you really want to make the money and you think the Giants are going to win, they're at plus 136 money line. You can make a couple extra bucks there.
I think it's a deal. I think if you're going to take an underdog today, take the Giants.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. Next, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Buffalo Bills. Titans are getting 9. Over under is 41. Titans are at plus 390. Buffalo's at negative 520. Love Buffalo all day on this. Unfortunately, you're not going to make any money on this game. What I would like to see, maybe a little tease here. Tease this down to 3.
Mason Rudolph Yeah, you could do that. Mason Rudolph, he's not a good quarterback. He's got the arm strength of your next door neighbor. Um, not a great leader as well, but they seem to get him. He's an adult. He's been in the league for a long time. He's a veteran. He
Mhm.
couldn't shine Will Levis's shoes, which is why this line went from 6 to 9 when the
9.
announcement came out. Okay. Um, but I do think that he could do enough against a Buffalo defense that's been banged up for weeks. And you could see them down by 15, and then he gets a late touchdown. And you get a backdoor cover, and people are running to the streets with their TVs in their hand because they took Buffalo because it was so easy.
Mhm.
I really do. I really do. Like
I
you should take Buffalo on the money line, but I would stay away from these points.
I don't like the 9, but what I do like, and I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit here. I'm gonna jump
Okay.
ahead to
All
the
right.
next game. Uh, what I do like is a tease here. I like Buffalo, and I like Cincinnati. All right. I li A tease would drop Buffalo down to 3, and a tease would drop, Cincinnati to where you're getting a half a point over the Browns.
Yeah, I
So
like that. If you're gonna do that, do that.
that right there is a tease that I'm gonna be all over all day. So I suggest you guys put that in right now before any line changes.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good bet. That's a good
but
bet.
yeah, because I love Buffalo this game. I love Buffalo by 6, 7 points. 9's a lot to cover. But that's what I thought last week with the Raiders too. I took the Raiders plus 9. I
Yeah,
got demolished.
again,
To the Steelers, against the Steelers.
but the Steelers have a consistent offense, right? And I didn't say good, I said consistent. The Steelers have a consistent
Dude,
offense.
they scored 30 points last week. They haven't scored 30 all year.
I know their running back got loose last week. Justin Fields was all over the place. Okay. The Steelers have a consistent offense. He cannot beat you and kill you with his arm accurately. Okay. And their defense, you know what they are.
Yeah.
Buffalo has that same kind of offense, but their defense is not there right now. They're missing key
Yep,
players.
mhm,
So
mhm.
if Tennessee wants, they can run the ball and control the clock. And Buffalo's up by 6 or Buffalo's up by 8, not 9. And I just be careful there.
I listen, I agree. I don't like the 9. I do like the tease, drop it down to 3. I think they win by 6, 7 points. Um, we'll go
Yep.
really quick. I love the Amari Cooper trade to them. I think that's gonna pay them huge dividends. It's gonna give, um, what I'm drawing blank here right now.
It's going to
The
give the Bills
quarterback.
advantages. It's going to give Josh Allen advantages.
Josh, it's gonna give Josh Allen that true number 1 again that he had when Diggs first went there.
That
So
he
when the
needs.
game is on the line, throw that 50-50 ball up into the single coverage, man coverage, and he's gonna come down with that ball. He has throughout his whole career, and that's something that the Buffalo didn't have up until this point.
You know, for somebody to say that a quarterback doesn't need a number 1 wide receiver, that's ludicrous.
Mhm,
Now, you might have lost a number 1 wide receiver, and now you're figuring out chemistry with the number receiver. But there's
mhm,
always a guy that you trust more than anybody. It just is,
mhm,
right? Tom Brady never had. That's bull. Tom
mhm,
Brady had number 1 receivers, whether it was Gronk or whether it was Edelman, whether it was Moss. We can go back. Troy Brown played both sides of the ball before Travis Hunter did in New England. Tom had number 1 guys that he went to. David Patton, if he needed a 50-50. I can go on. You
mhm.
need a guy in situations, right? And Josh had a couple, C plus B minus guys.
Yeah. Mhm,
The one problem that they're figuring out is that although he's a nice talent, a great kid, I don't think Dalton Kincaid's what they drafted.
mhm,
I like him, but he's not
mhm.
a world beater.
No, he's not. He's not, and I think that's what they thought they were getting a little bit better of a tight end, when they drafted him, something that could turn into something, like, really great. He's been good, but not great.
He's not Jeremy Shockey mean. He's not going to knock the teeth out of your face. He's a nice kid from
No.
Utah who's got a
Mhm.
lot of athletic ability. But as
Yeah.
far as putting you on your back and begging for mercy, Dalton Kincaid will not do that.
No, absolutely not.
Buffalo, yes, though. Buffalo's going to win this game.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. Bengals are giving 5.5. Over unders 41.5. Money line. Bengals are at negative 230. Cleveland is at plus 190. If I do remember seeing correctly, Chubb is back this game. Correct?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, he's
No.
not.
I think they just put him on the pup list, I heard.
Again?
No, he's off the IR.
He said yes, he is. He is playing.
Okay. All right.
That's what Nick just said.
Okay.
Go ahead, talk about the game, and I'll verify.
So this is great. This is an unfortunate circumstance here. I'm going to talk nice about Cleveland for a second, right? Because obviously they had a number 1 draft pick years ago in Baker Mayfield, and they just don't know what to do with great players. That's shown to be true right now, because I'm talking about the guy that's leading the NFL in touchdowns and quite possibly could be your MVP right now. You had him in Cleveland. I feel a little bad for Kevin Stefanski because he has to start Deshaun Watson to keep his job. Otherwise, he'd be fired immediately. The very minute that he goes to Jameis Winston and benches Deshaun Watson, even though that's what his job entails, that's what he should do because it's his better quarterback option right now. But he can't do it because he'll be fired. I feel a little bad, but at the same time, he was the one who wouldn't take meetings or skipped out on meetings, which fractured the team when Baker was there. So Kevin Stefanski, you reap what you sow, or what some people talk about karma. It's all happening for Cleveland and Kevin Stefanski right now. It is.
Mm-hmm.
That was what it was.
All right. Hawkinson is not playing for the Bengals, he said. Chubb is playing. Ford is out. Let me see here.
To give you guys a quick update on that Jaguars game, they're now leading 25-10.
Nice.
Imagine if you took them -1 or -2 when they were down by 10.
Mm-hmm.
Now you guys are making money. But no,
All
they're playing well
right.
right now. All right, so we like Cincinnati.
Yes.
Cleveland. I mean, hey guys, Cleveland. If you're a Browns fan, there is a positive you could take here, right? Stefanski will probably be gone. Deshaun Watson, we don't know what'll happen with him next season because it's been that bad. And your merchandise is about to go on discount halfway through the NFL season. You got to look at the positives, right?
Yeah,
25% off on Paul Brown merchandise, baby. That's how it's gonna feel.
I do like the Browns better when Chubb is playing. Again, this is his first game back, so I'm not counting on him too much. I'm not even starting him in my fantasy league. I believe I picked up Irving from Tampa. I am starting
Right.
because Jonathan Taylor is out. So I'm not even starting Chubb right now. I'm going to give him a week to get acclimated back to the game. But yeah, I'm with Jack. I like the Bengals here too. We both like the Bengals. Again, I am taking them with a tease with the Bills. Next, we got the big game, big 1:00 game. We got Detroit Lions at Minnesota Vikings. Detroit's getting a point and a half. Over under is 50.5. Detroit's at plus 100. The Vikings at negative 120 money line. It's a big game, Jack.
It is a big game, and I know that we've got a lot of Minnesota Viking fans on this network, and all I've been doing is knocking them. But how are they going to beat? Are they going to beat Detroit? I can't see it. I think Detroit's got too much talent on offense. I know that defense has been banged up a little bit, obviously, over the past couple weeks. But I feel like here's what I think. We talk about We talked about Cleveland just a second ago. We talked about Mayfield a second ago, and he was drafted by this guy named John Dorsey. John Dorsey's part of the brain trust in Detroit right now.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's a collective as far as general managers go in Detroit. I just feel as though they draft right. And I know that Aiden Hutchinson is the guy in the DM, but I have to believe that the next man up is going to be talented as well. Not as good as Hutchinson, but has the same amount of ability, right? So for me, I don't think Detroit loses a lot. I think they're way more talented than Minnesota is on offense. I think this is the wrong pick. I think that Vegas is telling you, they're giving you the spread that Minnesota should have for their record. That's what they're doing. So Minnesota's undefeated. So they're giving you an undefeated spread for Minnesota at home. That -1 is BS. I love Detroit on the money line here. I really do.
Okay.
That's where I'm betting my money.
Okay. All right. Me personally, I'm not touching this game. Not
Really?
touching it. We got two powerhouse teams right here. Two teams that lead the NFL record wise, division wise. I mean division game. This is going to be a knockout, grind out fight for both teams. I think.
Yeah.
That's why
He
it's
does
one,
that best.
1.5.
He does
It's
that
going to be
best.
a really, really close game. I'm with you as far as talent wise. I think Detroit has the talent there. Um, they just edge the Vikings out by a little bit. It just seems like everywhere you look, they have people. Missing that defensive end though, it's going to hurt him more than you think. He is a stud along that line. Can Branch hold up against Jefferson? I don't know. Addison is back, which is huge for the Vikings. I don't know, is Aaron Jones playing? I mean, even if he is playing, I don't know if he does much against this Detroit Lions team. Again, I am staying away from this game.
Listen,
I
I'm
am
betting
gonna
big cats
go.
today. Big cats. I'm betting Jaguars. I'm betting Bengals. I'm betting Lions. Put that parlay, that trio,
Okay.
right?
All right.
Put that together. Big cat parlay, baby.
Yeah, again, guys, I'm not touching this game. If I had to pick something, I mean, my gut tells me the Lions give the Vikings their first loss, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Vikings pulled this out. If Jefferson comes out, gets 2 touchdowns, is the main factor why they end up winning this game. I could see it. So that's one of the reasons why I'm staying away.
6-0. Oh, I can't do it. I can't get on board.
What's that?
Minnesota 6-0.
Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. And that's let's see here. Yeah, we got a Vikings fan. I say Detroit takes it because it's in Detroit.
Is it in Detroit?
No, it's not in Detroit, buddy. It's in Minnesota.
I
Yeah,
like
it's
your
in
first take.
Minnesota. Yeah, it's in Minnesota, Nick. Jones is playing. Jones is playing. He has 2 inside linebackers out too. The Vikings do.
So they'll be able to run the ball just like Detroit
Yeah,
does.
I mean they could run the ball, but I mean they're a blitzing defense anyways. So I mean, as long as those corners hold up and those safeties hold up, I think they'll be all right. That's another thing why I'm leaning a little bit more towards the Vikings is because of that blitzing defense. Can Goff hold up against that? Can that offensive line hold up against that the whole game? I don't know.
It's pumpkin season though. We're waiting on Sam Darnold.
So Jack does like Detroit. I am leaning towards the Vikings on this game. Leaning. I'm not taking them. I'm leaning. Leaning.
I'll call
All
Dan.
right. Next, we got the another great game. Another great 1:00 game. Houston Texans at Green Bay. Texans are getting 3 points. Over under is 48. Texans are at plus 136. Green Bay is at negative 162. Who do you like here, Jack?
You know, I guess you're supposed to like Green Bay because they're at home. Right? I
Mhm.
don't think there's a huge Green Bay advantage this time of year at home.
Mhm.
Um, And I know Jordan Love is the next Joe Montana that we're waiting on, or Brett Favre, or whatever you want, Aaron
Mhm.
Rodgers up there, right? But I'm gonna take Houston. I think they're really talented. I think CJ Stroud is still undervalued. I understand that, Houston has Mixon back. That's a big deal.
That's huge. Mixon
It's
is
huge because Stroud knows how to work him and how to put him in certain situations. Houston's D is down a couple players,
Mhm.
and it just means that this game will, in my opinion, turn into a shootout. I like Houston, and I like the over 48. That's what I like.
Love the over in this game.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think it's gonna be a huge shootout. Um, I do like Green Bay this game, though. I think Green Bay, is playing the offense is playing lights out. Jordan Love, this will be his 2nd game back since the injury, feeling more comfortable. He's playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. He really is. He's trusting his receivers, tight end, getting him involved. Josh Jacobs is running the ball well. And their defense is starting to play well. Their defense is starting to come together. They're still not a top defense, but they're starting to become a serviceable defense. I don't think it's good enough to hold the Texans down as far as point wise. So that's why I do like the over in this game. But I
Yeah.
like Green Bay and the over in this game.
I like Houston the over. So the consistency says take the over, vote.
Absolutely. All right, next we got Seattle Seahawks at Atlanta Falcons. Seahawks are +3. Over under is 51.5. Money line, Seattle is at +136. The Falcons are at -162. I mean,
How do you feel about
everything points to Atlanta this game. Everything points that Atlanta's gonna win, which kind of
now?
scares me.
Uh, I think Atlanta is gonna win. Uh,
Mhm.
um, Seattle just. I think that Geno Smith's a fine quarterback. I don't know
Kenny
whether he's a
Walker.
great. Huh?
No Kenny Walker.
Is
Yep.
that right?
That's what he's saying.
No,
Again, I
Kenny
didn't
Walker.
look at the injury reports, so I'm not really sure. You
I
have them.
Yeah, and that's why it's news to me. No, he's off the injury report. Kenny Walker's in.
Okay. All right.
Kenneth Walker's in. So he's been banged up or dealing with something. He deals with everything, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I just
Says
for
due
me,
to illness.
yeah. Well, I got him in. Well, we'll find out later. I'll start a later guy if I have to.
Mhm.
But I don't have that information yet, and that's through ESPN. Um, I like Atlanta here. I like Atlanta because Atlanta's rolling with a lot of momentum.
Mhm.
They beat Tampa, then they beat Carolina. I think Seattle, if they were at home, I would favor them, but I don't love Seattle in this spot. Seattle to me is a little bit like Jacksonville. They start slow, and then they're in these slug matches, right? And they're in these. This is gonna be a high score, 52 points. It's gonna be a high scoring game. So it's gonna be another game where Seattle's not gonna be want to be involved in this.
Mhm.
And they seem to find a way to lose these. And they had one with Detroit and San Francisco. They just can't win these games.
Mhm.
And they don't want to get in these games, but I don't think their defense is good enough to stop Atlanta. So, give me Atlanta
See,
at home.
that's my
I don't
thing.
want to bet this game. I don't want to bet this game.
No, I'm not touching it myself. But Seattle has 2 of the best corners in the league. 2 of the best young corners in the league. Witherspoon and I forget the other guy's name.
Yeah, Witherspoon.
But so can they shut down Atlanta's I don't wanna say Atlanta's average wide receivers?
Yeah, but then we'll run it
They're
at
not
you.
subpar. They're average.
It's weird too because Drake London's fine. He's fine. Everybody loves him. He's this, that, and the other thing.
I
He's
don't
fine.
love him. He's fine.
I
I'm
don't
with
either.
you.
He
He's
shows
average.
up. Yeah, he shows up when the game is over, basically.
Mhm.
And then you have Darnell Mooney, who sometimes he's
He
sometimes
looks like a number 1 sometimes.
sometimes
Other
he's marked
times
as Sometimes he's Kadarius Toney or Marcus Valdez-Scantling, right? Sometimes he's that guy. And
Yeah.
sometimes he's Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
That's where he is. There's no in the middle for him. There's no 7. He's either 7 catches, 87 yards, 2 touchdowns, and you're like, oh, this dude is money, not
Yeah.
Mooney.
Yeah.
And then there's some times where he's Darnell Mooney, as in the moon, the pie in the sky, or as in your ass. That's what he is sometimes.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
which guy are you going to get? Because if you get Stephon Diggs, if Darnell Money comes out today, Witherspoon can't stop him.
Yeah.
He can't. You know, but even if he doesn't, I think Atlanta could lean on their running game. Atlanta's got 2 number 1A backs in Algier and Robinson.
Algier. Yep.
I don't think
Absolutely.
this is going to be a huge. I don't think it's going to be a huge problem. I think they can wear out Seattle. They're at home. They have a great, fun crowd. They're embracing Kirk Cousins weird, which is good. I'll take
And
Atlanta.
Kirk Cousins has been playing well lately, so
he's Tom Brady light.
Is he?
Yeah,
He can't run.
No, he's 6'4". He went to Michigan State. Tom Brady's 6'4". He went to Michigan. Kirk Cousins had a bunch of coaches not believe in him. They followed him to the pros, but eventually he got his opportunities. He never got a Belichick. He never got a great defense. But if you look at the statistics for most of their careers, they're 31 touchdowns, 12 interception quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They've had better years, but Kirk Cousins throws for he threw for 500 yards. Well, if you paid attention to Minnesota football, he throws for a lot of yards all the time. He's not he's not fun. He's not sexy. Kirk Cousins.
This is a game that we both think Atlanta should win. I'm not touching it. I could see very easily how Seattle could sneak a win out of this. So, yeah, I am not touching this game, but we both think Atlanta should win. Next.
Okay, I just got
go ahead.
I just got a couple early game inactives here. Ray Davis is questionable. You know, Nick Chubb activated from IR. Jerome Ford is out. Naeem Hines not playing. Robert Woods, nobody really cares about. Jonathan Taylor out. Josh Downs, questionable toe. Alec Pierce shoulder. I mean, Indy's beat up.
Yeah.
Wide receiver wise, Indy's beat up. That's a little interesting to me.
And that's next game on the docket too.
Go ahead.
To that. Next, we got Miami against the Colts. Miami's getting 3 this game. Over under is 44. Miami's at plus 130. Colts are at negative 155. I like Miami this game.
I love that you said that.
I think this is a game that they're going to come out and win. No Taylor. You just touched on their wide receivers being banged up. Their defense isn't that great to begin with. So, yeah, I really do. I love Miami this game. I don't understand why I do understand why it's plus 3 because of their quarterback situation. But I think it's going to be enough to get them by this game. They're going to rely on the run game a little bit this game, and they're going to come out with the win.
So let's look at things this way, right? So obviously Richardson's back, but he doesn't have healthy weapons. Okay.
And even if he does, Flacco is still a better team with Flacco.
Why are you yelling at me all of a sudden?
Because guess how passionate I feel about it.
My God, relax. That Red Bull's starting to kick in, isn't it?
It is. God. It really is. I have one down on my second one already.
Ooh, God, if you guys had to fall away from your screen, you're not the only one. He is angry today. No. So yeah, that's true. But Richardson is the athlete that they have right there in there now, and Taylor's not starting, and a bunch of banged up receivers. And banged up receivers means timing off. Just a little bit. That shoulder hurts. That calf hurts. That toe hurts. Timing a little off. Richardson's never terribly accurate anyway, and he throws missiles. That's not good if you have guys that just need an extra second out of their breaks.
Yeah.
It's not. You have to understand what kind of horse is in the race before you start whipping him. If he's banged up a little bit, or he needs a little extra time, or the 3/4 mile, to all my horsemen that understand this, right? That you need to wait an extra second today. Miami has a backup quarterback with 2 speed wide receivers in Hill and Waddle. And although Huntley's a backup quarterback, isn't he playing against a backup secondary? The Colts are
Yeah.
ranked, what, 30th or 31st in the league in secondary?
Horrible.
They let everybody. Trevor Lawrence couldn't figure out how to complete a pass a couple weeks ago. Dropped 371 yards on the Colts.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me the other week about how Justin Fields has had a resurgence, and they highlighted the Indy game. He threw for 301 yards against Indy. I go, yeah, yeah, I know. The 31st ranked. So that's like playing against Alabama, right? That's like playing against a really good college secondary. And I don't really mean all of that, but at the end of the day, Indy secondary is bad. Huntley can do enough to check it down to the speed. And it's not like they play outside in Indy. They play indoors in Lucas Oil Field Stadium. So the speed will be on display. I love that you said Miami because that is the answer.
Yeah, yeah, and I love the +3. If I was you guys, I'd jump on this right now before it drops at all. Getting 3 points this game, I absolutely love it. I'm gonna be all over this game. This is probably gonna be my highest bet game of the day.
You could that could be your pick. I got a pick later.
So, all right, okay. All right, next. I do like the run game this game. I like Mozart. Is A-Chain back? Is he healthy or what's going on with him?
Back and healthy.
Okay. All right. For all you guys that have been with us for a while, you guys know I have been on Miami's third running back too, right? He got a shot a couple weeks ago, and he shelled out pretty good. He did fairly well. So just keep an eye on that backfield. If anyone goes down, I would pick him up as a backup running back on your fantasy team.
Yeah, that's a great call. 100%.
So
Mozart's good.
All right, next we got our 4:00 games. We got this game. We got Carolina Panthers at the Commanders. This game actually just jumped up a half a point while we were talking. It is at 9.5 now. Panthers are getting 9.5. Over under is 51.5. Panthers are at +360. Commanders are at -470. Too many points for me.
Yeah. What are we doing
Too many.
here? This is everybody loves Jaden Daniels. That's what this is.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Panthers have been playing a lot better, but I mean, at 9.5. Wow. I don't even like a tease here because you're still only teasing it down to 3.5. If you tease something down, you want to at least be a field goal or less.
I can't forget.
I don't like that half a point. I don't like it at all.
I still can't forget that game, the first game of the season that I watched with the Bucks and the Commanders. Like, because the Commanders haven't changed. Okay. They throw for a lot of yards. They get a lot of yards. But that defense is the same. They can't stop anybody. Listen, I'm a Baker guy, but I mean, he started the season off against the right defense. We saw what Burrow did to that defense. We saw what Lamar just did to that defense. Like, these aren't, a couple of them are. Lamar Jackson's not a pure thrower, and he destroyed them. I got news here. I know that everybody likes Washington. 9.5 at home, right? Washington Commanders, all those. I'm going to take Carolina on the money line. This is an upset. It shakes the world. You can take the 9.5 points, but if you don't think that Andy Dalton is not serviceable enough to get through this Washington team, you're crazy. He's good enough. They're going to drop 20 points. Easily.
I like the over on this game. 51.5.
51.5, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
guess
mean,
what? If you like the over in this game, you should not like Washington.
Yeah, I'm not touching the 9.5. I mean, normally what I would do is I would take a tease here. I would take the over and Washington. But again, I'm not teasing it down to 3.5. I would tease it down to 3, but not 3.5.
And when you start doing that, you start looking at the opposite side, guys.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, Washington getting 9.5 is crazy town. That they're telling you basically that the Carolina Panthers don't have a football team.
Yeah.
And that
and
Andy Dalton.
We've seen time in, time out since Dalton has took over this Panthers team. Them come in and throw a wrench in the point spread.
Yeah. This is crazy to me. And let's say Washington knocks out Dalton. This still gives their mini quarterback, Bryce Young, an opportunity to showcase himself if he has to come in and play. Washington's not good enough defensively to hold that kind of lead. And again, let's say something wild happens. Washington gets the ball first. This is one of those matchups, right? Washington gets the ball first. The point spread jumps up to, I don't know, 13 and a half, 12 and a half.
Yeah.
Take that money from them.
Mm-hmm.
This is a day of patience.
Yeah. This is a game I'm not touching. It's too much. I'm with Jack though. If you are a fan of either team, and you want to bet on this game, you're just dying to. I'm with Jack on this. Just wait till the game starts. Wait for it to jump up. Wait for it to jump down in your favor, and then take it. Kind of do what Jack did with the Jags game.
Did I just find another way to take another big cat?
I think so.
Big cats, baby. Let's take the cats all day long. I just took another big cat. Carolina Panthers getting points, or if you're feeling feline frisky, take the money line.
There you go. Jack's upset. I am not touching the game, by the way. I actually, let me rephrase that. I think I am going to take the over this game. I am not touching the winner or loser this game.
I'm over your overs.
All right, next we got Las Vegas Raiders against the LA Rams. Raiders are getting 7. Over under is 43. Raiders are at plus 285. Rams are at negative 360. So a lot here for me. Cooper Kupp's back this game. Yes, no.
He is, but I that's how I feel about it. Just how I just made that remark. Is he 100%? Is he going to look like Cooper Kupp? Is he going to give you, Cooper Kupp to me has become this wide receiver where he's great in PPR. So he's going to give you like 10 receptions for 38 yards. That's just where Cooper Kupp is right now. He could be in and out of this game. He's not, you can't start him. I mean, you could start him, but at this point, the injuries start to pile up. He has to take plays off. He's a great blocking wide receiver. It's such an easy bet to say the Rams are going to win this game. I don't know if I love easy bets. This might be one of your teases.
Okay. All right. Teasing it down to giving 1. I like that. Because I do like the Rams this game. I don't like the money line at negative 360. You're not going to make any money off of that. But I do like the Rams with this. I do like you pick this game and another game and tease it. Let me see if I could find one real quick.
I do.
Okay.
Think
all right. Here's one for you. Here's one that I'm sure Jack will love. Tease the Rams and tease Atlanta. Atlanta, you'll end up getting 3. Getting 3, not giving 3. You'll be getting 3. And the Rams, you'll be giving 1. There's another tease for you.
All right, yeah, that feels good. I like that.
You like that? Tickles your fancy?
A little bit of fancy tickling.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I do want to say this about the Las Vegas Raiders. You have to understand that losing Davante Adams is a good thing. I know the fans out there are losing their mind, but listen,
never losing a talent like that is a good thing. Something failed there. The relationship failed. So somebody has to be at fault for that.
Here's my phone. Hold this phone. Hold the phone.
Okay.
What I think is that Aiden O'Connell if you're going to go to the starting quarterback who was the backup, him working with the crew that he's been working with in the continuity is much better than him coming and getting all of the things that Gardner Minshew. He hasn't worked with the first string guys. He hasn't worked with the first string guys at all. So now he's working with all the receivers that he's familiar with in the backup role. I think that's good for him. I understand that you want to keep Davante Adams, but let's be honest. Davante Adams hasn't been there in weeks, mentally and physically.
And so that's where I said that something went wrong somewhere. So somebody on the coaching staff has to be held responsible for that relationship. He is a talent a talent that any team would kill to have on their team. So you need to make sure he is happy.
Yeah. Again, I think that having the backup wide receivers work with O'Connell now is okay.
Mhm. I
Uh,
think it's a breath of fresh air that they don't have him looming over the team now.
right.
That I agree with 100%. I mean, it's almost like and I don't wanna call him a cancer because he's not. It's almost like having somebody like Antonio Brown that was a talent on your team, but he's such a cancer. It's a breath of fresh. You hate to lose that talent, but it's a breath of fresh air that you don't have to deal with the animosity in the building.
It's interesting because everybody, the guy that takes all the heat from for instances like this is a player like Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, yeah.
But Devontae Adams has had his fair share as well.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
and by the way, doesn't produce like Stephon when he gets there.
No, but, you kinda have to feel bad for Devontae, though. Like, the
Oh.
only reason why he went to the Raiders was to be with his quarterback.
Mhm.
That's the only reason why he went there, and then the Raiders end up screwing him and getting rid of Carr. You
Yeah.
know? So, I mean, I kinda feel bad for him. Like, he went there out of faith that they were gonna keep Carr, build something there, and then they turn around, they traded Carr, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was a slap in the face to him. I think at that point, he kinda checked out from that point on.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's good to start over. And by
Mhm.
the way, they're getting better. Chef Nick says I heard something that they lost Adams to get Brady somehow. I don't think that's true, but they will
Yeah,
have that. But they
I
will have
just wanna
real.
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
They'll have real leadership in the building. I think the coolest thing that could happen to this Raiders franchise is if I know that Tom Brady now has some kind of minority ownership. It'd be really
That's
cool.
mhm.
It'd be really cool if him and Charles Woodson ended up with almost a majority together. Because what's cool about that is Brady went to Michigan. Charles Woodson also went to Michigan, and they had the iconic, tuck play together when the Raiders played against the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. And wouldn't that be cool at the end of their careers they can come together as ex-Michigan players, as ex, NFL films one-time play of the year players to bring a Raiders franchise back from the ashes. That would be awesome.
Mhm.
It's a good story.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Charles Woodson was the last defensive player to win the Heisman too.
It was 100%.
So, Nick, I just wanna say real quick, and then I'll get to your other comment on the, Brady thing. Brady cannot end up playing for the Raiders now that he is, a minority owner. That is part of him being the owner. It's part in the contract that he cannot come out and play for the team. Now for your other comment, my owner, yes, he is my minority, owner. It doesn't mess with his broadcasting contract, but it messes with how he's able to prepare for his broadcasting gig. He is not allowed to sit in any meetings, broadcast meetings. He is not allowed to witness any other team's practices, and there's something else he's not allowed to do, and I don't remember what it was. But yes, it doesn't mess with his contract, but it messes with his ability to prepare for the game, for his broadcasting game.
We're not sure he prepares anyway.
Yeah, yeah. By the sound of it, he doesn't.
We're not sure Tom puts in the hours, but we're not sure the preparation is.
So yeah, that's where we're at on that. Next, all right. So we both like the Rams.
Yeah.
I gave you a good tease, the Rams and the Falcons. So right there, two teases today, guys. Two winners right there. Next, we got a game that I do not feel good at all. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at my 49ers.
Why don't
Chiefs
you
are
feel
getting
good?
two. I just don't. I'll give you my opinion on this game here in a second. Chiefs are +2. Over under is 47. Chiefs are at +105, and the Niners are at -125. All right, before you get my homer pick, let's hear what Jack has to say.
All right, so I'm really interested in watching the Kansas City Chiefs versus the 49ers. The 49ers are -2. The over-under is 47 points. You know, a lot of people are tuning into, you know, the Super Bowl rematch. But it's not the Super Bowl rematch. It's not, because you have one team that's playing lackluster, and you have the other team that's surviving. That wasn't what the Super Bowl was last year. It was two teams at the height and pinnacle of what they were. They had all their players, they were all healthy, they were everything, right? So Kansas City's down Rice. Travis Kelce looks retired. Patrick Mahomes is the 17th best quarterback in the league. Greg, are you listening?
I'm listening.
Patrick Mahomes is the 17th best quarterback in the league right now. That's not Super Bowl. That's not make believe. Okay, the best quarterback on the field in this game is Brock Purdy. That's a fact. I don't care what your feelings tell you. Brock Purdy's the best quarterback. He's having to drag the 49ers to victories because their running game isn't what they thought it would be. It's good, but it's not the guy that they thought they would have back there. And I think that Brock Purdy has done it enough weeks now. Like, he's consistently played the guy who can run the team the best, the most weeks this year. I don't care about years past. You know, Brock Purdy's impressive this year. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, loss. That's been his stat line. In case you guys are paying attention, it's losses, but he's playing well. So I think that if San Francisco's secondary can get it together against a Kansas City team that, I mean, is clearly playing running back by committee, they don't have Rice. You know, they don't have a lot of things. And Patrick hasn't been very good either. He's gotten plenty of whistles. And I'm not being like, oh, the refs gave them the game. But I've watched whistles where players aren't even involved. I watched a New Orleans Saints game where they threw a flag on defensive end 95, and he's standing alone. They called a holding play. He's standing alone. He quit on the play. He's yelling at his defensive coordinator. Hey, what do you mean? I quit on the play. I quit on the play. They can't call holding on me. It doesn't matter. They got the whistle anyway. But you don't get whistles in San Francisco. And
They've been getting whistles left and right all season, like you've been saying.
Kansas City's, as the Italians call it, fugazi. They're a fake undefeated team right now. No, they are. Minnesota, for all the flack I give them, have played consistently to get to their wins. They've looked impressive. I just still don't believe in Sam Darnold, but the time is coming where if we get out of pumpkin season, I will have to start believing. Brock Purdy has looked better than Patrick Mahomes. He will today, and San Francisco will hand Kansas City the first loss that they should have had 2 weeks ago. How does that feel?
I love it. I love it. I mean, I'm taking the Niners, of course, but that's because I'm a Niners fan.
I'm taking
do
a lot
I feel
of
great about this game? No, I don't. There has been 10 Super Bowl rematches where they played in the Super Bowl, and then the next year they played together or played against each other. Only 3 times has the defeated team won. Every time the Super Bowl winner has won. So I mean, that's a little stat. I know it doesn't mean much, but we all love stats here.
That is great little stat. To be quite honest, I didn't know that. That is great stat. Today's 4 though.
Yeah. So I mean, it favors the Super Bowl winning team. They just can't. And again, I don't want to sound like I am a soured fan here on getting screwed, but they just seem to get the calls all the time. I mean, what was that? Was that the Atlanta game where at the end of the game, like the receiver was literally being bear hugged in the end zone, and they didn't call it.
But we can but for me though, I think that game gets dismissed because I watched that whole drive. Okay, I watched the whole end of the game drive, and the drive in general, there were 3 flags. The first flag was a phantom pass interference against the Chiefs. The second flag could have gone either way, and again, it went against the Chiefs. And honestly, it was not. So there was 2 in favor of Atlanta to get them down the field. Cousins threw a completed pass because Kansas City kept their hands in the air. And then on that last touchdown or that last play with Pitts or whatever, they didn't. And they didn't because, to be quite honest, they threw 2 phantom ones to get them down.
Listen, I if you throw 2 phantom ones, that's fine, but you can't not throw something that is so blatant. So blatant.
That's why I think they did it, though.
You
That's why I
know?
think that happened. I'm not
And that
sticking
does happen for everybody that says, "Oh, that doesn't happen." That happens in NFL, guys. That happens. You get if they end up throwing a flag and other refs are like, "Listen, dude, I don't know why you do that. There was nothing there." Chances are, within the next 2 plays, the other team's getting something in their favor.
Right. And so that was Cousins. Hey, listen, Kirk, we got you down here. It's your job to find an open wide receiver and draw up a good play. That's what that was to me. The New Orleans one was egregious. But, that's
all right, guys. But I'm taking the Niners here. I'm taking the points here. I'm going to give the 2. I think this is going to be I think we're going to win by a field goal. It's going to be a close game. I think we sneak this one out. I think Ayuk ends up having a nice game this game.
Did you just burp?
Yeah, burp. Yeah, it's the Red Bull, man. It's the Red Bull.
Sounds like that's his name. Ayuk. Oh,
Ayuka. You know what? As soon as I heard his name, Street Fighter came to my head.
Excuse me.
Ayuka.
Right here. That's that gamer in you. That's that old gamer.
Yeah. So yeah, I like I do like Jordan Mason this game too. His shoulder's fine. He's able to play. Everybody, like, he's top 5 in the league in rushing right now. So he's playing well for us. The longer the season goes, the more and more I think we're going to start seeing more and more from Ayuk. So I think this offense is going to get better. Just to let everybody know, the Niners do have the 2nd best offense in the league by yardage. We're averaging 420 yards per game, if I remember correctly. So
I think you're right. I think you will start seeing more of Ayuk, but you're going to start seeing more of Ayuk because Jordan Mason's carries are going to have to come down. And the only way you get his carries down is if Deebo Samuel starts carrying the ball a little bit. I listen, the reports that I've heard basically are telling me that Christian McCaffrey is going to be out for the season. They tried to do that help over in Germany, get him stem cells. All that. It hasn't been good. He's going to get a go within the next couple of weeks, but he's not ready to go.
He's not. And he was really, really targeting this game. 3 weeks ago, he said, he was quoted by saying there is no way he's going to miss this game. Look what happened. He's missing this game. So, you know, so I'm a fan. I'm a Niners fan, so I'm still holding out hope. Jack will not take that away from me. Damn it.
It's just that.
No, I mean, being in all reality, it is going to be tough for him to get back on the field. And when he does, how long is it going to get him to where he feels accustomed to the game again, back up to game speed? I mean, it is Christian McCaffrey. He is a stud, but I mean, even your greats needs time to get acclimated to the game again, especially at the running back position. So the fan in me is holding out hope, but the football knowledge in me is saying, don't hold your breath, Greg. So
you could be underwater forever.
I could be, but for Christian, I will.
Next,
we got the 8:00 game. We got the New York Jets at the Steelers. It's the game that Jack and I both love. Jets are -2 this game. Over unders 39. Jets are at -142. Pittsburgh's at +120. What's your thoughts, Jack? Here, I know we talked briefly about this game. I'm pretty sure you love the Jets.
I'm ready. This is my bet your farm bet of the week. Bet your farm from Fantasy Farm Sports sponsored pick. Listen, I understand how good Russell Wilson is, and he's going to be starting tonight. But there are going to be differences. Justin Fields throws a completely different ball, which means wide receivers coming out of their breaks aren't going to be completely prepared for what his ball looks like compared to Justin Fields. They've seen game reps of Fields game after game after game after game. The cadence for the center in Pittsburgh will be different today with Russell Wilson behind center. And by the way, sometimes a team just needs to have one. And the Jets really need to have this one. They need to get one to get back rolling. They've looked better over the past couple weeks, and we like betting teams in spots. Okay. I believe the Jets get this one. I wouldn't. And by the way, you're getting a great deal. Minus 135, the Jets. To be quite honest, if the Jets had a better record, they were heading to Pittsburgh, and Aaron was really rolling, I think they'd be minus 165, minus 175. You're getting a steal here. Pittsburgh will fight you tooth and nail, but I believe that all the plus plays that you got against the Cowboys, Pittsburgh, you're not going to get that against the Jets. I'll take the Jets tonight on the money line because they're going to get one. And I don't necessarily believe in Devontae Adams having this breakout game and all this. I think he'll be a decoy. I think he'll be on the field for some plays. He'll get maybe a reception or two, and that opens up the game for everybody because now the whole defense will be drawn to that side. Garrett Wilson has a big game, I think, to be quite honest. I think Breece Hall gets rolling. Aaron Rodgers' father, who is the new head coach of the team, has done a great job. He looks like him. He looks like Aaron's dad. I love the Jets so much here. It's my bet your house. It's such easy money, guys. Wait. That's what I'm saying. There are minefields all day. Oh, Cincinnati, Cleveland. You can lose with Cincinnati. Then you sit there, you're rubbing your head. You don't know who to pick next because there are landmines everywhere all day. Maybe you just want to hang out like me and Greg do. Sometimes me and Greg just sit here, we relax, we watch football on Sunday with our families. And when the kids and everyone's put to bed, that's when we get degenerate, baby. That's when it happens. That's when the lights go down, right? When the bourbon gets dark and we say, yeah, right? That's when it happens. Sunday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers. I know what the storylines are going to be. Bet the Jets. It's really easy.
I like the Jets here too. I love the Jets here. I'll take the 2. I'll even give the 2 points. That's how much I like them.
You're wild.
Another thing I do like this game, Jack and I feel a little bit different, but I like Devontae for a touchdown here. I like Adams for a touchdown. But yeah, that's what I think. I don't like Hall too much. I don't like Hall this year. I don't know why. I'm not seeing it from him. I'm not seeing it this year. I see more explosion when Allen is in the game at running back than I do with Hall. But I agree with all your other breakdowns of the game.
You know what I do love? It's call me crazy. Honestly, I'll put my phone number in the comments. You can call me and just scream crazy in the phone and hang up on me. That'd be fantastic, right? Crazy! What? Call me crazy. But this could be a wild game to where you think all these guys are going to have these wild plays. And you know who gets the touchdown for the Jets? Tyler Conklin, the tight end. It just feels like one of those, right? You're like, yeah, I'm saying it now. Tyler Conklin, put him down for an anytime touchdown. And you guys are sitting there later on tonight going, I can't believe that. If I bet $100, I could have made $1,100 on Tyler Conklin. It could have happened. I just feel like all of these guys are gonna be Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, and all these players, right? So you got Alan Lazard for the Jets, and all of a sudden it's a 4-yard touchdown to Tyler Conklin, and your head's laying on the table. It feels like that a little.
Okay. All right. Well, take your money and throw a couple of dollars on Conklin to get a touchdown.
It feels like that a little. I don't know. Sometimes, sometimes I'm hungry.
You have to go with your gut.
It could be I'm just wanting some eggs,
All right, that's our Sunday games. Now we got 2 Monday night games tomorrow. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This should be a good game. Ravens are giving 3.5. Over-unders 50. Money line, Ravens are negative 185. Bucks are at plus 154. Jack, what do you think about your Ravens going against your Buccaneers?
Well, it's in Tampa Bay. So here's what I really like. I don't really Tampa Bay's defense is still so beat up. I mean, they got a couple guys. Every time they get a guy back, they lose 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying Lamar Jackson's accurate, but all he needs to do is run the ball, right? And have Derrick Henry run the ball as well. I love the over in this game. It's 49.5. I think that's very close to where it'll be.
Mm-hmm.
I like it around 52. So you're giving me 2.5 points. That's how I feel about this game. Baltimore can't stop anybody. Forget about your old Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
They can't stop anybody. You know, and
No,
they're not.
their secondary is horrible.
Yeah,
Horrible.
they're not going to be able to stop anybody here either. Okay, I don't love Mike Evans in this game. I do love Chris Godwin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, there's a reason why, even though Mike Evans might play, he's going to be a decoy for Sterling Shepard.
Okay.
That's how they're running those two. So they're using Evans almost in the tight end area to set screens for Shepard to get open, then Shepard's gone.
Mm-hmm.
The Buccaneers are getting 3.5. I think you can bet that.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to win. I think they'll probably lose by 3. A late game field goal, that's where this 49.5 plays in.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it could be 27-24. Again, Baker has a really good game, serviceable, 2 touchdowns, all that stuff. He's going to have a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay loses this week because the truth is they don't really need this one. Baltimore really needs this one.
Yeah.
Baltimore's really going to need this victory to separate in the division. Right? They're going to need this game, and they're going to want this game because they're going to watch Pittsburgh lose to the Jets. And then Baltimore is going to come out tomorrow night in Tampa, and it's going to be a dogfight, but they're going to get out of there. And Tampa really needs, and I will give you guys a little preview, Tampa really needs the game next week against Atlanta.
Division game.
In
Absolutely.
division.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Baltimore wins this game.
Okay. All right. I like Tampa Bay with the points. Getting 3.5. I do like the 3.5. I'm with Jack though. Their defense is a little bit beat up, so that's going to hurt them. Ravens are a little bit more healthier than they are, and I think I said this last week or the week before that Jackson and Henry are about ready to demolish the tandem rushing record by a backfield, whether it's a quarterback, running back, 2 running backs, it doesn't matter.
No, you
They're
said it
about
right.
ready to
They're both
demolish
running
it.
backs.
Yeah, I mean they are, but but yeah, I do like the 3.5. I would take that today, the 3.5 before it does drop to 3. I don't like it at 3. I like it at 3.5. That's where I would take it. But yeah, that's kind of where I stand on there. I agree with Jack. I think Godwin's going to have a heck of a game. Dude, he's killing it in the slot position this year. I'm just saying, he's killing it. It makes me wonder the people that were running Tampa Bay last year, why they even had him on the outside to begin with.
That's your coach of the Carolina Panthers, ladies and gentlemen,
Oh.
Dave Canales.
There you go, people. So yeah, I mean, for you people that don't really understand the difference between an outside receiver and a slot receiver, outside receiver, you get jammed up a lot. You're matched up, you get jammed up, you get that press coverage. Slot receiver, you get a free release most of the time. Can they press you at the line? Yeah, but it doesn't happen much. And let's face it, a lot of times they don't have a nickel corner on the field. So if they don't, you're matched up against a linebacker. That's huge.
And when we're talking about things like this, right? It doesn't. Chris Godwin, he can't play. He can't play outside.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Godwin could play anywhere on the football field.
Yes.
But where is he most valuable?
Where is he most effective?
Right. His value and his effectiveness is what really matters.
Yes.
Right? Because if you can force their team to do other things that they're not accustomed to, because Chris Godwin's in certain areas, now you could take advantages. That's how this game really works.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's a third and 17. Probably not going to get the 3rd and 17. So let's run the ball especially with a Derrick Henry, and
Mhm.
tire their linebacker out a little bit more. Make them get a one more tackle. Because if
Yes.
you make that guy tackle one more time, it just exhausts them.
Mhm.
Those are advantages
Absolutely.
that you wanna take. And, your average watcher sometimes doesn't understand, "Oh, I don't understand. You're never gonna get the first down." Yes, even if you pass it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so play the field position.
That's
Play
right.
the play the chess match. Play the little advantages you get. Um, I always said if I was ever a coach, and this isn't about sportsmanship. This has to do with just any little advantage you can get. I would tell every one of my players, you don't help another player up on the other team. Do not. And listen, it has nothing to do with sportsmanship. All right. You're going to expend more energy helping that player up. You let that player get up 30 times during a game. That's going to tire him out more in the fourth quarter than if you help him up every time. I'm just saying, there's little advantages that you can get no matter how minute they might be. It's a game of inches.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, Berwick football, if you're looking for a new head coach, he's right
I'm
there.
available, guys. Listen, I got tricks. I
He's
got
right there.
tricks. Listen, I've been a couch QB for years, all right? I got tricks.
That team will not be helping up any players, not from
No player.
Hazleton, not from Wyoming Valley West, anywhere.
Nobody. If I see it, your ass is being benched.
Oh my god. Well,
All right. That's where I
splinters
stand.
help. What's our Monday night game? What's our
All
Monday?
right.
We got two tonight.
Our late Monday night game is the Chargers at Carolina Panthers. Chargers are giving one and a
Oh,
half. Over unders 44. Chargers are at negative 120. Cardinals are at plus 100. It's pretty much a pick 'em game by Vegas.
yeah.
You know,
Who do you like?
I like the Chargers this game. I love Harbaugh. I know Harrison Jr. is back this game. He'll be playing. But yeah, I think the Chargers do just enough to get by this game. They're playing very well on defense. Their running game is good. So yeah, I do like the Chargers this game. I'm not even blinking an eye at it.
I like Arizona in the desert. And the reason why is Kyler Murray forces you to do everything against what you want to do. And I know that doesn't make perfect sense, but like everything that is basics, right? That you teach, that right? Like when Alabama 10 times out of 10 beats all these schools, but then they go up against a character like Johnny Manziel and he does everything unorthodox is the word I'm looking for. Everything that you shouldn't do, throwing across the body, running backwards, losing this, all of a sudden, and you're losing to him. And I feel like that's what Kyler Murray forces you to do in spots. I understand that Harbaugh is a great coach. They're coming off a couple victories here, and you're playing in the desert on Monday Night Football. Arizona needs one. I think Kyler Murray just gets you off rhythm a little bit. It feels that way. It feels like you can get a dose of your own medicine early with James Conner. And then all of a sudden, you're now tired out the linebackers a little bit. Now they got to chase Kyler Murray. And I just feel like there could be combinations for which he's not seeing. That's how I feel about that. And by the way, it would be Michigan losing this week and and Harbaugh losing this week.
Ooh. Um,
Shout out to you, Illinois. Nice victory. It
this
is.
is something that what you say makes sense, but unfortunately, the Cardinals have not been able to do that. They have not. They've only been able to do it in spots. They have not been able to do it during a whole game. Kyler Murray will look like a stud running the ball, throwing the ball for 10 minutes out of the game, and then the rest of the game he looks like shit. Connor runs the ball well, but he picks which half he's going to do it. One week it's the first half, next week it's the second half. It isn't throughout the whole game, which is why they have the record that they do. I think the Chargers are very disciplined. They play smash mouth football like Harbaugh likes. Cardinals are not a smash mouth team. They are more of a finesse team. I admit Kyler will make this game interesting, running around a little bit, doing his Kyler Murray thing. But I don't think it's going to be enough to overtake the Chargers. So I do like the Chargers this game.
I'm just a big believer that if you have both games on Monday night. Right? I believe this in college basketball, in every sport, basically. You're not going to get the favorites winning on every night.
Mhm.
Right? So your favorites here are Baltimore and your favorites are the Chargers.
Mhm.
Which favorite's gonna lose?
I could see Tampa Bay winning more than I could see, Carolina winning.
More than you can see
Put it
Arizona.
that way. Arizona winning. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
More than
I mean,
Arizona.
it
Yeah.
it does feel like that. It feels like Tampa Bay is the live dog here, and maybe they
Mhm.
are. And
Mhm.
maybe you wait.
Mhm.
Are we waiting again? Are we having patience again? Patience is
We
good.
could. Mhm.
Patience is good. Maybe you wait for the first game to finish, or what'll happen is the first game will have like 4 minutes left in it, but it'll be decided,
Okay.
right?
Well, what about this? Why don't we do a little craziness here?
Oh, you teasing me again.
Oh,
Don't
I
tease me.
am. I
All
am.
right, go.
Why don't we take the Bucks up to 9.5 and the Chargers to where I'm getting 4.5. Do
Oh,
you like
that's
that a
great.
little bit more?
Yeah,
You
I
like
thought
that?
yeah, oh, I
'Cause that
like
took
that.
that
Give
tickles
me
you right in the
that.
back of the throat, doesn't it?
Oh, that's good right there, huh?
All right. That I do like that. I like that a lot. So there we go, guys. I gave you 3 teases, guys. 3 teases that you guys can make bank on. It's up to you guys to put your money on it. Jack gave you a bet your farm pick. Between those 4 picks right there, you don't need to bet anything else. Nothing else
No,
today.
no, don't do anything. Sit there with your pants on if you can. But we've
Or
already
with
hit
them
we
off.
we've
Yeah,
already hit
yeah.
on the Jaguars, ladies and gentlemen, so the one
Nice.
button's undone.
There we go,
One
guys.
button's undone, baby.
One button's undone, hands slowly going in there like Al.
And just to give you a heads up, I started Tank Bigsby today, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Nice. And I picked them up in the league that I'm in
Did you
because, Jonathan Taylor is out.
Yeah, so that was a good start for me. Tank Bigsby,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
That's good
Nice.
because
Very nice.
I needed one.
Very nice. All right, guys. That is for the week. Again, we don't see you guys back here until Sundays. So we are going to give you guys our way too early pick for Thursday, but we are going to give it to you anyways. This is Minnesota Vikings at LA Rams. Vikings are giving 3 points. Over unders 46. Vikings are at negative 155. Rams are at plus 130. There is no reason for this point spread to be at -3 right now, or where the Vikings are giving 3. Should be at least Vikings giving 5 this game, which kind of scares me a little bit, but way too early pick is Vikings all the way.
I like the Rams.
Okay. There you
Yeah.
go.
I think
Okay.
the Vikings could lose 2 in a row. And
Ooh.
then because let's let it marinate, right? Do the Vikings feel like a 7-0 team or a 6-1 team? Or is it honestly, are they a 5-2 team? I'm okay. I feel better about them being a 5-2 team. I feel like that's representation of what they put out there. 5-2. They slide 2 in a row, and then all of a sudden they get a gimme. They get
Mhm.
a good matchup they're not gonna lose 3 in a row because they've done a great job out there. You hear that, Vikings fans, for all the flack I give you? You've done a great job out there. You're not a 7-0 team. You're not a 6-1 team. And I think the Rams are much better, they're much better coached because of what they've had the most injuries this year.
Mhm.
Hands down, end of story. I heard somebody saying, I forget what team they were talking about. Oh, this team is banged up most out of anybody. I was like, stop it. They are not the
Mhm.
most banged up. It's the Rams. McVay's playing with his practice squad and still getting touchdowns.
Mhm.
Okay, so I think if Cooper Cup plays a little bit this week, I think he could be, on a short week. Minnesota's defense. By the way, let's remember who they're playing today. Biting kneecaps, Dan Campbell, Lions. If they win, great, but they will get the hell beat out of them.
Mhm.
I mean, every single player on the Lions is there to kill you.
Mhm.
So my thought is, even if they do get out of there today, right? You have to understand that they're going into a short week after playing the Lions Come on. Give me the Rams. You know it's the Rams.
All right. Here's my thought on the whole game.
Change for
I'm
me.
going right back to I think it was 2 weeks ago when they played Green Bay. I'm going to make the same argument I did against Green Bay. LaFleur, McVay, what coaching tree are they from? Shanahan. What defense just obliterates Shanahan's offenses? LaFleur's.
Okay.
Every time. And that is what I'm going to. McVay's part of that Shanahan tree. LaFleur just bugs the hell out of them. So that's why I like the Vikings this game. I like the Vikings over the Rams this game just for the fact that LaFleur he has this type of offense's number. He knows how to.
Who's Minnesota's defensive coach? Not LaFleur.
It is LaFleur. Or not LaFleur.
I know what you're talking about. Coach
not LaFleur.
Miami.
Yeah, he Miami. It's not
The name escapes
LaFleur.
me. I don't know him very well.
Brian. Oh, what the hell is it?
Anyway, I agree with what you're saying, but the fact of the matter is that Minnesota is going to be exhausted and tired going into Thursday night in Los Angeles.
Brian Flores.
Yeah,
Flores. That's what I'm trying to get. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me. I
Yeah,
didn't
no,
want to
it's
get anybody confused here.
Yeah, and you know what? Flores does do a good job against those defenses, but he's a blitzing guy. Okay, that's another good argument, right? He's a blitzer. He loves to send his guys.
Yep.
Okay, but he's got problems again because he just played a knockdown, drag-out fight against Detroit. And not only are you going to be asking your defense to run the same way, but you're going to be asking them to run after being exhausted, not getting a full week of treatments on the road against the Rams, right? And I think that the problem will be is when he does bring the blitz, like he will, those corners aren't going to cover all game.
But that's the thing, though, is that on a short week, it always leans more towards the defense.
No, I think
having the advantage. Oh, see, I think it's the defense. They need less time to prep for it. The offense can't put in as much stuff. They have to simplify things.
Yeah, Justin Fields 4-1 on Thursday Night Football. Do you know why?
Because they have to simplify it.
Because the defense, though. Because the defense, because the defense isn't ready. So his poorly thrown balls don't get intercepted. They're right. His first reads are usually opening because he's a first read quarterback. I think it could be the Rams. And
okay, all right.
With me saying that, Vegas, I think, fights the hell out of the Rams today.
Mm-hmm.
I would take the Raiders getting 7.
Okay.
I think that's mispriced. It should be probably at 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily believe the Rams are going to come out gangbusters today, and I think that the Vegas Raiders, I think that would be an easy game for Tom Brady to call, but he's not going to be able to call it.
No, he's calling the Niners, 49ers game.
Yeah,
or Chiefs 49ers game.
Send him out to
I like the Rams today. I like, not point wise, I'm teasing them if you guys remember. I like them then, and I like the Vikings on Thursday night. Way too early pick for Thursday night, though. Anything could happen. Injuries could happen. So everything status quo. I like the Vikings. Jack likes the Rams.
Yeah.
So, so we have a few different opinions this week on things, but that's why we are called Every Point Sports Podcast. We want to come at you with every point that we can.
Yeah, we want, our goal is, Greg made a lot of great points this week, and as did I, so you need to sit there and we have the discussion. I think it's the weakest thing you could do is just put your stuff out there and not have a discussion with somebody else.
Yeah.
Right. Discord, very popular app on your phones, but a Discord is between two people with varying points of view. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. But it's a positive discourse of information.
Yes.
So, with that being said, now you guys get to take that information and go have your coffee, finish your breakfast, whatever you're doing, rake some leaves up on a Sunday, right? You got
Mhm.
roughly 23 minutes before all the games start. You can get some of these picks in, kick back, relax, and know that you made an educated bet and did not gamble your money because you
Exactly.
came to the Every Point Sports Podcast with the old gamer Greg Entertainment and Jack Stash from Fantasy Farm
That's right.
Sports.
That's right. We try to make it as easy as we can for you guys, give you as much information that we can. So, you can put your money where you best should. Let's put it that way.
That's right. Best bets every Sunday on the Every Point Sports Podcast. Guys, we will see you back here next Sunday, same time, same channel, better bets.
That's right, guys. Remember, if you guys like what you see, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And remember, guys, be excellent to each other.
Yeah.